Family dinners at my grandfather's house followed a script everyone seemed to know except me. The silverware matched, the stories repeated, and certain subjects drifted through the room without ever stopping in front of my chair. Money was one of them. I had learned years ago not to ask. Whenever conversations turned toward investments, property, or long-term planning, someone would smile and say, "You'll understand later." Eventually, I stopped expecting there to be a later. That evening felt no different until my grandfather looked up from his plate. "So," he asked casually, "did you get the email about your trust fund?" The quarterly statement should have arrived yesterday. I laughed once, thinking he was teasing. "What trust fund?" He frowned. "The one your grandmother and I established." The room became strangely still. "I never knew there was one," I answered. "No one ever told me." My mother's fork stopped halfway to her plate. "Maybe you overlooked the email," she said quietly. "I don't think you can overlook something you don't know exists." Grandpa wasn't argumentative by nature. If anything, he disliked family drama so much that he usually ended uncomfortable conversations before they began. Instead, he opened the laptop sitting on a nearby side table. "Let's make sure the bank didn't miss a notification." He logged into the secure portal with practiced ease. A folder labeled Statements filled the screen. Quarter after quarter, year after year. Every notification had been marked as delivered. He clicked one. "See? Sent successfully." Then he paused. "That's not your email." I leaned closer. The address on the screen wasn't one I'd ever owned. It wasn't even similar. Across the table, my mother spoke almost under her breath. "That can't be right." Grandpa didn't answer immediately. He clicked into the account profile instead. "Contact email." The unfamiliar address appeared again. Beneath it said a change history, modified 10 years earlier. He looked at the date for a long moment before saying quietly, "That's interesting." Nobody reached for dessert. Nobody asked to change the subject. Instead, Grandpa continued reading. There should also be an authorization record. The history showed every quarterly statement sent to that same address, every tax document, every investment summary, every annual performance review. 10 years. I wasn't thinking about the balance. I was thinking about birthdays, graduations, job applications, conversations where I'd worried about paying rent while apparently receiving advice about learning financial responsibility. The silence became heavier than any accusation. My mother finally spoke. It must have been an administrative mistake. Grandpa nodded politely. "Perhaps." Then he picked up his phone. "I'm going to ask." He called his financial advisor. The speakerphone filled the dining room. After verifying his identity, Grandpa explained what he was seeing. The advisor accessed the records. "I have the account history here," the advisor said. The contact email wasn't changed by the bank. It was updated through a signed administrative request. Grandpa remained calm. "Can you see when?" "Yes." The advisor read the exact date aloud. It matched the record on the screen. "Can you identify who submitted the request?" There was a brief pause. "I can confirm it wasn't initiated by the beneficiary. The paperwork lists an authorized family representative acting on the account at that time." No one interrupted. No one argued with the facts. The advisor continued. "For security reasons, I recommend restoring the beneficiary's verified contact information immediately, freezing further profile changes until identification is completed, and scheduling a complete administrative review." "Please do all free," Grandpa replied. He handed me his phone. "Verify your email." A few minutes later, my own phone vibrated. The first trust statement I had ever received arrived while everyone was still sitting at the same dinner table. It wasn't the amount that caught my attention, it was the date. There were hundreds of documents stretching back almost a decade. An entire financial history had existed alongside my life without ever reaching me. Dinner ended quietly. No dramatic arguments, no one stormed out. Some relatives offered careful apologies that sounded more uncertain than confident. Others simply avoided eye contact. Grandpa walked me to the front porch before I left. "I should have checked years ago," he admitted. I trusted that the system was working. I nodded. So did I. Later that night, I sat alone at my kitchen table with my laptop open. One by one, I read through years of statements that should have belonged to me from the beginning. The numbers mattered, but they weren't what stayed with me. What stayed with me was how ordinary the truth looked. No hidden vault, no dramatic confession, just timestamps, archived emails, verified records. Sometimes the strongest shift in a family's balance doesn't happen because someone finally tells the truth. It happens because the paperwork quietly kept telling it all along.